world of football is, I wouldn't say it's normal, because all of a sudden
it's never been normal, is it? It's absolutely bonkers.
I am joining you live from my bar.
Oh wow!
That potentially could be worth up to 30 goals a season.
Hello, my name is Roshan, Narayan, and thank you for joining us on In 20. Welcome back to the show. Danny and I are back as usual. And Danny, whenever we talk about football, there's a few things that are certain. Paul Pogba, Manchester United, and refereeing decisions. Now, just a few hours ago, during one of the Premier League games, Wolves versus Arsenal, Martinelli was shown a red card. And if you didn't watch it, let me give you a quick synopsis. The ball went out of play. It was going to be a throw-in for Wolves. Then Martinelli, does a horrible karate chop against his opposition. He drops, the ball is in play. Martinelli runs after the player with the ball. Again, vicious attack. Gets 2 yellow cards within a span of 30 seconds. And who watches live TV anymore? All you need is just me describing whatever went on. Correct? Accurate enough, Danny, for you?
Yeah, I do have a little bit of an issue with this. By definition of the law, the referee is entitled to do what he did. And he has applied the laws to the exact letter. He can do that. Should he do that? No, is the answer. And people say, well, hang on a minute. You can't, these are the laws of the game. But equally, I would flip that around for several reasons. Foul and abusive language is a red card offence. If the referee is going to apply the letter of the law every single time, and they're going to go down that route, every time a player swears, you've got to send them off. Simple as that. We're going to end up with 2 players on the pitch about 15 minutes into the game. So, there has to be a little bit of common sense. The other part of this that I have, in isolation, they are 2 yellow card offences. Nobody disagrees with that. Where I have an issue is the yellow card is a warning that if you do it again, you will be sent off.
Correct, yeah.
If you aren't given a warning, how can you get 2 yellow cards in the same phase of play? Because you've not been given a warning to say don't do it again. You've just been given 2 direct yellow cards. People will say, was it Raul Jimenez that obviously got sent off 2 yellow cards very, very quickly? That's a different scenario.
Correct.
Because in the first instance, he stops the free kick, which is a yellow card offence. He gets the yellow card. Then he argues with the referee. He gets the second yellow card. That's on him because he knows that at that stage he's on a yellow card. If he does something else, he's going to get sent off. So in that instance, it's fair enough. The Martinelli one, I think the referee is trying to be too clever. I think he's trying to say, look at me. Look how clever I am. I was really great. Look how great I am. I played the advantage, but it was a yellow card. And now I've applied the law to the exactly. Look at what I've done. Yeah, I'm brilliant. I'm great. Look how clever I was. That's not what we want to see. So, yes, Martinelli shouldn't have done what he did. By definition, from the technical side of the law, the referee can do what he did. Should he have done it? No, I don't think he does. I don't think he should do that. I think he should book the player, pull him to one side and say, look, you're incredibly lucky. I don't want to see that again. People have said, well, it's a culmination of other things that happen in the game. That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter who else has made fouls, who else has done anything in the game or time wasting. Those incidents are completely separate. And I think that the referee, as I said, is trying to be too clever, trying to make it all about him and show how great supposedly he is. We've never, ever seen that before in football. And there's a reason for that.
You're right, because when it happened, and I'm sorry if I butchered the moment trying to describe it, you can go online and watch the highlights. But when it happened, I literally text my friend, because you're right, I can't remember it happening before. It was like literally the referee was at a rave and he was just giving out cards like this, left, right, and center. It was a bit shocking, but we've spoken about this before. Why can't referees in the Premier League, in football, come out and explain the decisions? Now, we're going to play a video for you from the NBA. Watch this, and then we will come and we'll jump in later on and just talk about it. All right? So let's watch it now.
After review, it is defensive foul on Campazzo. The action after the whistle was deemed as nothing, as there is nothing unsportsmanlike on the play from Smart. It's just natural basketball play.
Yeah, I love it. I love the new NBA, Mike. I really do.
A natural basketball player.
He called it nothing.
I know.
I love that. I love that that play is nothing.
Can we see that nothing again?
Yeah, let me see. Let me see what nothing is.
Okay, take a look.
My boy, Zach Zarba. So he's basically not
Okay,
this
there's a
one
little
right
push.
here.
Now he's hit by
Yeah,
Nazi. Now, right?
There's the foul. And this right here, that's nothing. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
I'm fine with it.
All right, that was shades of Martinelli as well. You know, when he correctly shot the living daylights out of everybody on the field. But isn't that refreshing? An official on the spot explaining and bringing that human element, bringing football in that moment and saying, you know what, it's a part of football, let it go.
Because they're accountable. You get it in all American sports. They do it in American football. You know, you hear what the officials are saying to each other. You know, when the flag is thrown onto the pitch, and then the referees will explain. We have it here in England. We get it in rugby. You get the TMO. You get it in cricket. In every other sport, high level, you get an explanation from the umpire, from the official, to say the reasoning behind the decision. Football referees, they're not accountable for their actions. In this instance with Martinelli, the referee could have easily come out and explained it, and he would have said, look, the first one was a yellow card. I gave the advantage to the attacking team. The player then created another foul, which was a second yellow card. Therefore, I gave him 2 yellow cards, and in the laws of the game, he was sent off. Again, so he's right in that action, but he's not right in terms of managing the game. As I said, if you're going to start, so every time a player time wastes, yellow card them. Every time a player swears, yellow card them. If you're going to go down that route and be, pedantic about every single situation and try and be clever every single time, every time a player walks towards you, it's a booking. All of the in an aggressive manner, all these types of things. The referees are there to manage the game and manage the players. I think that was really poor game management from the referee.
Okay, now put yourself in this situation. He explains it, correct? He's on camera in front of the mic. He's explained like how the NBA referee did in that clip we showed you. Would you, as a player, not on the field, but when you're off the field, you go back and look at it and like, all right, fine, I know where he's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. We're still not going to agree, Roshan. Whatever, whether it's an offside or whether it's a penalty or whatever it might be, you're not going to agree with the decisions because a lot of them are subjective. But it's like when you walk into a room and you want to have an argument with somebody and instantly they say, look, I'm sorry, this is what... It takes away all your power. You still might not agree, but somebody has explained to you their decision-making. Now, if you understand why they've made that decision, you still might say, well, you're wrong. You still don't know, I still think you're wrong, but I now know the wider public. We see it with offside. We see it with penalties. We see it with all sorts of decisions. I think it's disrespectful to football fans to not give them that information. It's almost like they're not trusted because if they don't believe it, they might kick off. There might be trouble or there might be whatever it might be. I think that's hugely disrespectful, to everybody that goes to watch football. Give them the information. And especially in the ground, it's like when we get VAR. Everyone at home sees VAR on the television. If you're in the ground, Manchester United, Anfield, don't even have a screen. You've got no idea what's going on whatsoever. So I think we need to. We've seen during the pandemic, during COVID, football is about fans. Fans have to be engaged more in those sorts of decisions.
All right, fair enough, and good point, by the way, Danny. Let's stick with Arsenal. Rumor has it, as the song has it, that Youri Tielemans is linked with Arsenal. One, why does he want to go to Arsenal if this story is true? And two, would a player like him move from Leicester to another club?
Yeah, I think he would. I think he would see it as a step up in terms of scale of club. Hear me out, Roshan. Hear me out. In terms of scale of club on a global basis, there are a lot more Arsenal fans in the world than there are Leicester fans. Yes, I know, especially out in your part of the world, Leicester obviously now huge what they did in 2015, winning the Premier League, but they're still not really a global football club. We all know the story about Leicester, but Arsenal by name and by nature and the history is a bigger football club. and he may want to go there. He needs to up his performance levels if he does want to move, because they've not been great so far this season, especially in the last, 6 or 7 games. Leicester have really struggled. He's a fantastic talent, but that would be why he would see, as he would see probably Tottenham as a bigger club. We talk about the top 6. Don't necessarily have to be in the top 6 to be one of those top 6 clubs. It's about history, size of the club, being in London perhaps as well.
Now, if you take money out of the issue, because a lot of players are in the Premier League, playing in clubs in the bottom half of the table because of the money, European players. If this whole issue of money wasn't there, would you see him going to the likes of, say, for example, Barcelona or Real Madrid or AC Milan, these big clubs, and try and help resurrect?
He's certainly got the potential. He's a fantastic player. We've seen that. Young, very, very talented player. The thing is, money is out there, isn't it? It is about money, and I don't judge anybody for that. It's a very, very short career. There's also the prestige of the Premier League as well. I think, obviously being the most watched, all the things that come with that, the fame, the fortune, the accolades, the kudos of doing well in the Premier League is better than coming 6th in the Premier League, gives you more kudos than coming probably 2nd in the French league. That's just how it is. It's seen as a bigger achievement because obviously it's a much harder league to play in. But yeah, unfortunately, that's how it is. That's how it's been for 20 years now, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
So how would you rate him? Look, for example, Kevin De Bruyne is up there, correct? Without a question of a doubt.
Kevin goes up there because he's got more talent. We know that. But Kevin De Bruyne does it week in, week out. The difference between good and great is consistency. Great players do it week after week after week after week. Any player in the Premier League can have a great game. We've seen that. Doesn't matter what. Every single player, every single team in the Premier League has the ability to have a great game and be outstanding and, off the charts, be sensational. But great players have that performance level week in, week out. And that's what makes them great. He has the talent. Okay. He hasn't quite got the consistency yet.
Okay, so a quick one. If you take Manchester City and say Liverpool's midfield out of this question of mine, where would you rate him? Would he be top 5 in the league?
I think, he could get into the Arsenal team, he could get into the Spurs team. Manchester United, goodness knows me, you might get in there, right? Well, in the second half, you would. He certainly has. He's got all the attributes to play for. To play higher up. But Leicester want to be there themselves. They've just missed out the last couple of seasons. They're having a little bit of a dip in form this season, but I'm sure they'll bounce back.
Okay, bounce back is something what Chelsea has done recently in a competition away from the Premier League, away from the Champions League, the Club World Cup. Forgive me if I'm wrong, if I'm getting the name wrong. It was called the Intercontinental Cup back in the day, was it? Or it was sponsored by Toyota or things like that. I remember United being a part of it.
No idea.
Okay, but I always remember this competition
it's about as important as the Community Shield.
Oh my God, Danny! No, it's not that bad, is it? The Club World Cup.
Who was in it?
Chelsea.
And
that is being disrespectful to the other clubs from the other countries. But okay, I know where you're going.
But that's how it is. You're in a competition that has no sort of genuine merits in terms of real competition. Chelsea walk into the semi-finals.
That's the part I don't get. Like, teams are just going to walk in and like the others have to qualify and get there.
Because you've won the European side of it, you're in the final. Okay, great. It's a trophy, and Chelsea will now say, look, we've won everything. But is it that important? No. I don't think there are too many players out there. If you ask players, if you ask those Chelsea players to rank those trophies in order, Champions League, Premier League, up there, probably Champions League might come a little bit first because obviously they've won it less. Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Community Shield, and Club World Cup are probably a couple of runs down the list. It's who won the Club World Cup 3 years ago?
That's a good question. If I didn't leave my previous job, I would have known it.
But this is the point, Roshan. No one knows because it's not that important. It's not seen as a major competition, is it? That's the difference. We don't look at it and go, oh, this is a. We all knew that Chelsea were going to be in the final. We all knew that Chelsea were pretty much going to win it. Generally, the team that comes out that wins the Champions League wins the Club World Cup because they are, by far better, richer than any other club in that competition. It's not a fair competition in any way, shape, or form. Okay,
but in terms of performance, players need to perform, be it at 7 or 8 or 10 out of 10. Let's talk about a player who has been setting the league, and not only for his club team, Chelsea, but for his country as well. Mendy, one of the best goalkeepers right now we see in the world, if not the best.
Fantastic goalkeeper. Absolutely outstanding. Fantastic buy. I think it was Frank Lampard, wasn't it, that brought him in. Superb goalkeeper. Really solid. Different type of goalkeeper to say Ederson. Obviously, Ederson is the ultimate ball player, five-a-side goalkeeper. PlayStation, come out and do what you want with him, run up the pitch and do Cruyff turns and take people on. Mendy's a real fantastic goalkeeper. I think he's got a little way yet to start rivaling the likes of Petr Cech, Peter Schmeichel. Again, that's about longevity. That's about winning 4 or 5 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues. That's where you have to be. Within that, the greatness comes with consistency. That's what it has to be. And when we always talk about the world's best, they've done it season after season after season after season. It's not 2 or 3 seasons; it's 7 or 8 seasons that they do it for.
So, is Harry Maguire the best, defender in the world right now?
Who? Sorry. Sorry, I thought you said is Harry Maguire the best defender in the world right now?
No, I was just like pulling your leg. I was looking for that segue in between shows because memes.
Let me think about this.
Yeah, memes are popping up left, right, and center globally. I can show you this. It's horrific. The one on the right.
Yeah,
but, which I don't want to get into.
He's having a bad time of it.
That one.
It's the no-look defending one is not great. The one on the right clearly is not particularly good taste either. But that's how it is at the moment. Decent player, clearly was overpriced when they brought him. Has done well, but when you look at Manchester United defenders of the past, Jaap Stam, Ronnie Johnson, Rio Ferdinand, Vidic, wow.
Would you give him a break? Would you give him a break? Just take him aside, give him a couple of weeks off and say, go sort your head out. Try and gain what you had.
I don't know, Roshan, who they can play instead, though. Phil Jones?
Why not? If you keep trying the same person over and over again.
He hasn't played for about 4 years. That's the problem.
And that one game, he was far better than Harry Maguire when he came on. When he played.
They need.
Would you give him some time? If you were his manager, would you just pull him aside and listen? I'm just going to take you off the firing line right now. It's not good. Come back after some time away and do
I think there would be a point where it's getting to the stage where you'd have to manufacture that situation and say to the player, "Look, I'm going to leave you out for a couple of weeks. We've got a choice. Let's tell everyone you're injured." That would be the best way to manage the situation, because if you drop him, effectively is what you're doing, take him out, it looks bad, and you probably pile more pressure on him. If you take him out and you say to the wider world, he's got a tweak, he's got a sore hamstring or a bad back, you can maybe get away with that. And sometimes you have to fabricate the truth to protect the player. And if you are going to take him out, I think that's what you'd have to do, because if not, you're going to put even more pressure and more attention on him.
All right, Danny. Thank you so much for your thoughts. If you offended anybody, we do apologize. That was never, our intention. Maybe Danny, but not me. I'm a good person. I'm a saint. All the talking points on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. Till the next time, take care.